What's up, nerds? This is Mr. Storm, and this is Desktop Publishing 1. This is going to be an introduction to the class to kind of teach you what you're going to be learning, what this class is, what to expect from this class. We're going to talk about my expectations and how the class works. We're also going to talk about how Google Classroom works and how you're going to use it. But let's go ahead and jump right into the disclosure. Okay, so this is my disclosure for Desktop Publishing 1. Essentially, Desktop Publishing 1 is a one-semester class, and you develop skills using electronic procedures, essentially, computers, to produce and edit publications. You're going to create, format, illustrate, design, edit, revise, and print publications. Now, the printing part of it, we're not necessarily going to do as much in this class. We are going to talk about things that you need to think about when you're going to print these documents, but as far as printing goes, we're not going to do that for the most part. To me, it's kind of a waste of paper. There are some assignments that I'm going to ask you to print just so you can see the difference between how it looks on your screen and how it looks whenever you finally print it, but we'll talk about that when we get there. You're going to learn improved productivity of electronically produced newsletters, flyers, brochures, reports, advertising materials, blah, 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 blah. You're going to learn how to proofread. You're going to learn how to composite images and compose documents that look great and use color and typography and use images correctly and things like that. So it's going to be, it's a fun class. You make all kinds of cool stuff in this class. There is no textbook. You actually don't really need to bring anything to this class. Just come to class ready to go. One thing you can bring if you want are a pair of headphones, whatever headphones you want. You don't have to use my headphones if you don't want to. So if you want to bring your own headphones that are comfortable for you to use, please do that. All the assignments are going to be turned in using Google Classroom, and you are going to use all the material that I produce is going to be in Google Classroom as well. So that's how you're going to get access to your material, and that's how you're going to turn in your assignments. I will update grades by midnight on Thursdays. The only exception to that might be if an assignment is due on Thursday, it won't be updated by Thursday at midnight, because my due dates are basically 11:30 or midnight every night that they're due. So I won't have time to update that grade if it's due on Thursday. And I won't grade assignments until after the due date. So that way everyone has as much time as they need to turn in the assignment. But I'll grade those assignments on Friday and update the grade in Aspire Friday. So you will be completing an assignment pretty much every day you come into class. You're going to log into Google Classroom, see what lesson it is that you're supposed to be using or looking at that day, and what assignment you're supposed to be doing, and then you just complete that material. Late work. For some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, I do find some high school kids, meaning you, have problems turning in assignments on time, and that I just don't understand. At this point in your life, you shouldn't have this problem. And if you still have this problem, if you have the problem of turning in assignments late, then this is the kind of, you need to fix that problem immediately, right? That's the biggest problem in your life right now. You need to fix that immediately. You can turn in assignments late in this class, but it is highly, highly not recommended. So here's how it's going to work. First of all, I don't give you homework, right? Whatever you see in Google Classroom, that's the assignment you need to complete. And as soon as you jump into this class, you have access to the entire class all the way through, both terms, right? Full semester. You can work faster than my schedule, but you can't work slower than my schedule, right? You have more than enough time to complete every assignment within one class period. And if I feel like the assignment's bigger, then I will give you more than just one. And the schedule will reflect that. So it's up to you to get stuff in before the due date. If you do turn in something late, however, then you will automatically lose 25% of the total grade. Okay, I'll record that grade as an M in Aspire until I get that assignment, and an M is missing. It's basically a 0, and you'll lose 25% immediately. And that doesn't matter if, your mom checked you out to go to Disneyland for a week. It doesn't matter what reason. The reasons don't matter. If it's late, it's an M, and you lose 25%. If you do turn in late work, you must send me an email letting me know that you've turned it in. Okay, I'm not going to go back and check every assignment, just on the off chance that you turned in a late assignment. Okay, I'm requiring. I kind of rely on you to let me know if you've turned in things late. If you've turned it in late, send me an email. Don't tell me in person because I will forget. Okay, send me an email. That way, there's a record of that transaction, and make sure the email is professionally written. I need to know what assignment it was. I need to know what class period you're in, A1, A2, whatever. And I need to know that you're in Desktop Publishing 1, right? I need to know those three things. And I also need to have a subject line. And the reason for that is because for cybersecurity reasons, I don't ever open an email if it does not have a subject line. I just delete them. Okay, I delete all emails that come to me without a subject line. So if you don't put a subject line in there, I'm not gonna read it. I'll just delete it immediately. So make sure you do that. Follow all the UMA rules. Obviously, plagiarism is a big deal, and I find that even in a class like this where you're doing kind of fun things, you're doing fun assignments. I'm not asking you to do 75 math problems. I still find kids that try to cheat and try to pass off someone else's work as their own. Don't do it, okay? If you found it on the internet, chances are I'll be able to find it. I run every assignment through plagiarism checkers and all that before I grade them. So you're probably going to get caught, and it will automatically be a 0. So the assignment's automatically going to be a 0 without the possibility of making it up. And I will refer it to the office. It'll be a class 2 at least, and there'll be all kinds of consequences they deal with down in the office. I don't concern myself with that stuff, but it's a conversation you don't want to have. So just don't do it. I was in the United States Air Force for 10 years, so I take customs and courtesies and military wear very seriously, or uniform wear very seriously. But my job is to help you, right? I'm a mentor. And so my job is to help you figure out how to do this stuff correctly. I understand that there's a learning curve, pretty steep learning curve for jumping into this stuff. And some of you are new. You've never been in a situation like this before. And so my job is to help you figure out how to do it the right way, right? My job is not to just hand out a bunch of punishments just because you made a mistake, right? My job is to point out, hey, you did that wrong. Let's figure out how to do it right next time, right? I am more than willing to work with your parents. I'm more than willing to work with you. I'm willing to work with administration if I have to, but I'd rather not. I like to handle things on my own. Oh, speaking of parents, I forgot to mention this before. If you turn in a late assignment, the first time, I'm going to email you and your parents or guardians, letting them know that, hey, you have to turn in assignments on time in my class. If it becomes a problem, a habitual problem, then I will try to work with your parents and with you to try to make you more successful, to try to solve that problem if we can. That's my style. You're going to have the consequences, but I'm going to try to help you as much as I can to get rid of this bad habit of turning in things late or not wearing a belt to school or whatever it is. I'm going to try to help you break those bad habits. So there's tons that I'm not covering in the disclosure that are there. So read through it at your own pace. There's also a lot that I probably should have in there that I don't. But if I had everything in there that I needed, the disclosure would be way too long and it would be unnecessary. Like no one would ever read it. So, if you have a question about my preference for how you do things or class rules or anything like that, come talk to me and I'll let you know. My main rule, however, is just to respect other cadets' work, right? People are going to be around you working, plugging away, trying to learn, trying to get assignments finished. If you're distracting them, if you're bothering them, if you're listening, to music and it's super loud and they can hear it, if you're deleting people's files off of their computer, if they go to the bathroom and you lean over to their computer and you start messing with their stuff, you're not respecting their work, and that's a problem. That's something that I do not tolerate whatsoever in my classroom. But honestly, just be a decent human being. And that's pretty much it. I don't really have a lot of rules. Just respect each other. Let's talk about the schedule. Okay, so when you get into the class, again, like I said, you have everything. You have all of the things open to you to do whatever you want with, right? And don't pay attention to these little numbers. Those are my notes. I'll get rid of those before, yeah, maybe. Or maybe not. But so you'll go through and you'll look. Like today, we're doing the introduction on August 29th. You have to do the assignment, what is desktop publishing, then Microsoft Publisher, then layout and composition vid. So that's how it works. You go through each of these in order, and it will, help you figure out what you're doing. Okay, that's it. I mean, the schedule's pretty easy to follow. When you're looking at Google Classroom, the first thing on the schedule was desktop publishing. What is desktop publishing? And so you're going to read these links, and then I'll talk more about that assignment when you watch the video for it. But you're gonna do that assignment and then turn it in. Okay. Now turning in assignments on Google Classroom is pretty easy. It's pretty self-explanatory. But if you really can't figure it out, come talk to me and I'll help you. Over here on the side, we have a section for all the work that's going to be due soon. So you might see some stuff in here. This is a really handy thing to look at. Right? This is probably the first thing you want to look at when you open up Google Classroom to see what assignments are coming up. Over here on the side, you also have topics, and each of these topics are different blocks of assignments. So this is just a way to navigate through the class in a little bit easier way. So let's say you're toward the end of term 2 and you're in section 7 publishing projects. You can just click that and it'll take you right down to that block, and you can go through and look at all the assignments there instead of having to scroll through the entire thing. That's pretty much it. I think that pretty much about covers it. If you have any other questions, please come talk to me. One other thing is, as you're scrolling through the stuff, just kind of checking out what you have to do, you might see things that don't look like they're completely finished. And the reason for that is because they might not be. So I'm building this class as I go. Some of these assignments may not have videos or full materials on them yet. If it doesn't look like it's done, probably don't do it yet. Or do it, but without the extra help. I'm going to try to get this stuff done quicker than you guys can actually get to it, though. So if this class feels like it's not completely finished, it's because it's not. But I'm working on it. So, just let me know if you reach an assignment. If you're working faster than the schedule and you get to an assignment and you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It's probably because there's not anything in there for you to do yet. But yeah, really just come ask. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. I'm more than willing to help you out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for paying attention, and I will see you next time.